So now that we've done the first solder join, we've let it cool, and you might be able to see that it's blackened. We need to clean this off. So in order to do that, we're going to put it in the pickle that we prepared earlier. So it's now at a nice low temperature. And I open up the lid, and I could just drop it in there, but that means that I would have to fish it out. So a handy tip is to use a sieve, and that way I can lower my project down into the pickle and take it out quite easily as well. Now I've used a plastic sieve, and that's again for the very reason that we don't want to use any steel or metal items in there, because it will create that plating tank that I talked about earlier. So plastic or brass or ceramic is absolutely fine, wood as well.
To start off, I'll just talk to you a little bit about wax carving as a process itself. So if you've done any of the silver jewellery courses, you'll have noticed that you're working in quite a constructive process. You've got wire, sheet of metal, and you're soldering and filing and finishing to bring pieces together. Wax carving is very different. It's quite a destructive process. You're starting with a solid block of wax, and like a sculptor, you want to remove the extra wax to reveal your design inside it. So we're going to take you through step by step to do two projects. We'll be looking at a wax carved ring. So we'll be looking at sizing the ring, creating some textures on the surface, and creating something like a tapered band, which is really where wax comes into its own. We'll also look at a pendant project, so we'll look at texturing the wax, creating quite three-dimensional forms. Emery stick is very useful, and we use a few different grades of sandpaper. So I'd recommend 240, 400 and 800 as general grades to get you by in the session. A scriber is also very useful. An accurate ruler, so a nice steel rule, and some softer files and needle files for when we come to do some more delicate carving in the wax. We've also got a ring sizer just to check your ring size, a pair of dividers, that is pretty essential, and an engineer's square as well. Okay, a couple of other things that we've got on the table which I'll just explain is the wax itself.
So we've shaped our ring, and now it's time to start cleaning up the ring. So we need our half round large file, and we're going to use the flat side first of all. So use your back of your hand on the bench peg once again when you're filing, and forward strokes just over the join. So we're just working on the top join here on the top of the join. So we're just working on the top of the ring, over the joint. And what we're aiming to see is no solder line whatsoever. And then you know you've done a good job. So you just go a little beyond the line. If you turn it around, you can approach it from the other side so that you get all that metal level. And make sure you go right to the edges as well. So you're obviously not going over your pattern surface, you're just working on the seam.